going to bring up Stacy. You've heard of homeostasis, you know, things remaining good quality the same. Well, she's a step above that. You have your own glasses right there, Dan.
Yep.
Good save, Mimi.
Jim, is the instrument mic still on?
That's off right now. We're gonna for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
By the way, this is Joe Dan.
Joe Dan.
Bring him on. You know, I should have thought of that. I should have gotten my applause before I heard it.
And this is my cousin Kevin Tenney being this temporary sound man.
He's awesome.
And he's going to be on later. Last time we had one of these, I played a 8-string melee ukulele. And I gave you a little bit of history of it. And Shannon Monk came in, and she and I did a song together. She had brought a vintage baritone ukulele, silver tone make, and she and I did a song together with her on the vintage baritone and me on the melee 8-string. Now today, here I have a vintage Gibson baritone ukulele. I own and have owned over the years a number of baritone ukuleles. I'm afflicted with what they call ukulele acquisition syndrome. You guitar players know what that means, except it's more expensive for you. But this is the best. It's my favorite of all the baritone ukuleles that I've ever had, owned, or seen. I like it even better than Shannon's vintage Silvertone. So I'm going to use it on one of my 2 songs, and this first song that I'm going to do is one that I heard as a young boy growing up in this area, and it was, now the 3 ladies talked about the new revolution in folk song. I was born before the folk boom of the 60s, and I was really glad to see that was kind of new folk at that time. And now we're in another generation of new folk music. But this song, Grow The Lilacs, is old folk song. It was one that could qualify as a folk song very early on. And in fact, Gene Logsman, in his book, Mother of All the Arts, says that the green grow, the 2 words in the chorus of this song, are what motivated the Mexicans during the Mexican-American War of 1845 to 1848, when they first gave the name gringo to white cowboys, or Anglo cowboys and so on. Folklore backs that up. Now, the editor of his book put a footnote and said, Webster says it comes from the Greek word griego. So you take your own choice as to where the word gringo comes from. I believe it came from this song. Used to have a sweetheart, but now I've got none. Since she's gone and left me, I care not for one. Since she's gone and left me, contented I'll be. For she loved another one better than me. Green grow the lilacs, all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since a parting with you. And by the next meeting, I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs to the red, white, and blue. I wrote my love a letter in red rosy lines. She sent me an answer all twisted and twined. She said, write your love letters, I will write mine. Write to your sweetheart and I'll write to mine. Green grow the lilacs, all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting with you. And by the next meeting, I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs to the red, white, and blue. I passed my love's window both early and late. The look that she gave me, it made my heart ache. The look that she gave me was harmful to see, for she loved another one better than me. Green grow the lilacs, all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting with you. And by the next meeting, I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs to the red, white, and blue. And change the green lilacs to the red, white, and blue.
They're shrinking.
This is a standard soprano ukulele. This is what when you hear the word ukulele, this is what it generally means. The baritone ukulele has a 19 or 20, depending on the make, inch scale length. And it's tuned like the 4 high strings of the guitar, D, G, B, E. In fact, all of the instruction books that I saw in the 50s for a baritone ukulele had parentheses tenor guitar after it. So it's actually a small tenor guitar. The ukulele is not a small guitar. It's tuned quite differently. It has a 13-inch scale length, and it's tuned G. Actually, the tuning of ukulele, the standard tuning of ukuleles, when I started playing them many years ago as a boy, was the A, D, F sharp B. And it's still an alternate tuning, but the standard and an alternate tuning then in those days was G, C, E, A, which is now the standard tuning. But this is the, and most students of ukulele or teachers of ukulele recommend using a felt pick. For whatever reason, they think it sounds better, and I used the felt pick for many years with all ukuleles, but over the years I found that I could use a regular pick, as I did on this baritone ukulele, without any problems. These are gut strings, or actually the modern equivalent of gut strings, and a felt pick sounds pretty good on them, but a lot of ukuleleists will use their fingers or their nails. That's what I do with this little soprano. This is a Martin soprano ukulele that I bought new in 1972, and I'm really glad I have it. At the time I bought it as kind of a side interest sort of thing. I really wasn't too interested in playing the little small this size that time, but I wanted to have one on hand. And over time, I've come to really learn to love this little baby. So I'm going to do last month some of the songs that we did, and I put some Jack songs on Facebook from last month
Shame
as
on
well.
you.
And by the way, Jack Ainsworth is really a fabulous songwriter as well as a performer. I don't know if y'all have heard very many of his songs. Those of you who've never heard him, have no idea how creative he is on his song. I hope you do cray cray tonight. But somebody responded to one of those Facebook posts and said, I wonder if you ever do any Jimmy Rogers. And the guy's name was Jimmy Ezell, who put that on Facebook. Well, I do, Jimmy. In fact, Jimmy Rogers was my first influence. He died before I was born, but they were still playing his songs on the radio. And I listened. First one I ever saw or ever heard on the radio was a song called The Sailor's Plea. And I was in love with Jimmy Rogers just with that one song, And over the years, as I've grown, I've learned several of his songs. I'm going to do, the second one is going to be one of his. Probably his most famous song, the one that more people have recorded, many of them, Merle Haggard, Ernest Tubb, any number of country artists knew it. Jimmy Rogers was called the father of commercial country music, and he influenced everybody, either directly or indirectly. And this song is one called Waiting for a Train. I'm going to do it on the soprano ukulele. Now, Jimmy Rogers was known as America's blue yodeler. So if I get brave, I'll try to yodel during it. But if it fails, we'll just bear with me. The water tank, waiting for a train, 1,000 miles away from home, sleeping in the rain. I walked up to a brakeman to give him a line of talk. He said, if you got money, I'll see that you don't walk. Well, I haven't got a nickel, not a penny can I show. Get off, you railroad bum. And he slammed the boxcar door. Well, he put me off in Texas, a state I dearly love. Wide open spaces all around me, moon and stars above. Nobody seems to want me or to lend me a helping hand. I'm on my way from Frisco, heading back to Dixieland. My pocketbook is empty, and my heart is full of pain. 1,000 miles away from home, waiting for a train.
song only had one yodeling part in it. Joe Dan went for the gold.
That's what I got.
Don't pay me, you don't have to pay me. Oh, okay. Whoa. People must be lost, more people have come in. Joe Dan, that was superb yodeling.